Nintendo, you fucked up. Oh my gosh, you guys, what's up? It's me, Model Spy, back again with another video for Switchblade, and today we're going to be talking about some controversial stuff that's been happening on the internet recently. Basically what happened is Nintendo is demanding that a cease and desist be enforced on the Etikons joycons, which is basically a brand of joycons that are dedicated to Etika. Now, these are not knockoff joycons. These are joycons manufactured by Nintendo themselves that have basically just been reskinned and reshelled and being resold as a charity sort of merchandise. And I'm gonna go show you the GoFundMe page pretty soon. But for now, let's just quickly read through this article on Eurogamer, where it basically says, the last few weeks have been a rather tumultuous period for Nintendo and its fan communities, to say the least. After a Super Smash Bros. Tournament was shut down by Nintendo for its plans to use third-party software to run the event online, they're talking about Slippy here. Several teams in the Splatoon 2 North American Open used free Melee hashtags in their names to protest the decision. The live stream for the Splatoon 2 finals was then cancelled, further upsetting fans who felt Nintendo had intervened. So if that wasn't bad enough, you know, Nintendo acting up against tournaments that have been posted online, where people are going to be using Slippy to basically do the battles and do the tournament, run the tournament. Now Nintendo appears to have angered fans once again after sending a cease and desist letter to a custom Joy-Con creator who was selling Etika themed shells for charity. Content creator Captain Alex, who runs an Etsy store selling custom controllers, said he was sent a cease and desist from Nintendo covering all his products, and the Etikons were caught up in the mix. So basically Nintendo is telling Captain Alex that he's not allowed to reskin and resell these Joy-Cons. And I feel that's a pretty shit stance to have, Nintendo, considering what these Joy-Cons represent to gamers and considering what these Joy-Cons represent to Nintendo gamers specifically. The thing is, if you have a look at where the history from this comes, or where the history comes from this, there was a YouTuber, I don't know if you guys know about Etika, but he was a dude who lived and breathed for Nintendo games, man. He did not hesitate at all at any moment to just be like passionate about Nintendo, and the guy had fire and he did so much for Nintendo, man. And it's really, really sad actually that we have to now sit with this situation where Nintendo feels like they can just say, no, you're not allowed to do this anymore. And the thing is that these Joy-Cons are not just contributing towards anything. This guy isn't actually making the money off of these Joy-Cons. The money, a portion of it is going to suicide prevention charity as well. So basically, let me show you a few pictures of Etika. I think I've got about 2 pictures of Etika here, and you guys can see what he looked like. You'll immediately see that this dude is actually living and breathing Nintendo. It's really, really sad, the situation that we are in. So this is a picture of Etika, where he's holding the first Nintendo Switch. Apparently he got a hold of the first Nintendo Switch before everybody else apparently, but what he actually did is he created a fake Nintendo Switch. That's how far this guy went for Nintendo. That's how far this guy breathed and lived Nintendo. And now Nintendo is going, you're not allowed to honor his memory at all. Nope, take down that stuff that you created. Don't sell it, we're not allowing that. To me, that's a pretty crap stance to take, Nintendo. I hope you really reconsider. I can understand the tournament thing to a degree because it's custom software, and we all know how Nintendo feels about custom software. But I mean, dude, come on. You cannot punish a guy for honoring the memory of Etika, one of your biggest fans who ever existed on this planet. I mean, seriously. Another picture of Etika there sitting holding his fake Nintendo Switch. Man, this guy was so much fun. I remember watching the video and being like, what? At the end of the day, it turned out that everything was fake. But anyway, guys, here's a picture of the Etikons on the IndieGoGo page. So you'll have, if you have a look there, we're like halfway to the actual campaign goal almost. And these are what the Joy-Cons look like. So it's basically just like a reskinned, rebranded Joy-Con, and it looks pretty sweet in my opinion. I think it's pretty cool. If you can afford these Joy-Cons, you know, it's a nice way to honor a memory of a dude who lived and breathed for Nintendo, and it's also a nice way of contributing towards charity against suicide prevention. We all know that Etika, well, I don't know if you know, but Etika ended up committing suicide due to depression. It's a really sad story, and yes, I did say that word. Google is probably going to flag me on YouTube for that, but I don't really care. That's not what this video is about. So if you have a look at the overview for these Joy-Cons, it says Etika was a legend in the Nintendo community, and he was. His early death highlights a major issue in the US today, our mental health care system. By raising money for the JED Foundation, we can put the necessary tools into the right hands and help provide resources for mental health and suicide prevention awareness. As a backer for this campaign, you'll be able to honor Etika with a pair of Joy-Cons for your Nintendo Switch, while also providing money for a really great cause, and I agreed to that. So basically, and then this Desmond Etika Amofa tragically took his own life on June 19th, 2019. Etikons are a way to honor his legacy while putting a lasting product into the hands of his fans and raising a ton of money for mental health, suicide prevention awareness. These are what the Joy-Cons look like. I think it's sweet. Black and white design. I feel like that's something that Etika would have backed. Looks like something that he would have enjoyed a lot. So, and then basically what it says here at the bottom is, by reaching our initial goal of $65,000, a minimum of $40,000 will be donated to charity. Like immediately, $40,000 goes to charity. We've chosen the JED Foundation as our charity of choice for the following reasons. For teens and young adults, focuses on both suicide prevention awareness and mental health. Located in New York, where Etika was from, and it's rated 4 stars on Charity Navigator with 100% accountability and transparency rating. So they're not just donating the money to some random willy-nilly charity either, or keeping a bunch of the money for themselves, other than obviously to fund the actual Joy-Cons. I mean, you can think for yourself how much these Joy-Cons would cost otherwise. And then they go on and they tell you about how they make these Joy-Cons and what the risks and challenges are and how much a pledge would cost, blah blah blah, all these things. And then at the bottom there's this little disclaimer saying that this campaign, this is what really annoys me. They even at the bottom of this page, they admit the following. Note, this fundraising campaign is in no way affiliated or associated with Nintendo of America or any of its parties. The campaign does not seek to infringe on any copyrights or trademarks held by Nintendo. Nintendo continues to reserve all rights to its properties. Campaign rewards are not infringing on the Nintendo IP and only seek to raise money for charity while offering a product compatible with the Nintendo Switch. So guys, I mean, this is really annoying to me. I find this really sad. It's actually I would say for me it borders on heartless from Nintendo's side for doing this. And Nintendo, I really hope that, I'm not a big channel, but I really hope that you get to see this video from my channel as well as all the other big YouTubers, and I really hope that you consider changing your stance on this. It's something that your fans are really passionate about. This is really something that you cannot ignore. I think if you really want to honor your fans and you really want to honor your brand, then you would retract this cease and desist, and you would cease and desist your cease and desist, because otherwise this is really not going to be looking good for your PR image, dude. Canceling a tournament like the Mario Smash Brothers tournament, and then canceling the Joy-Cons that are supposed to honor a legend in the community, and then also while those Joy-Cons actually contribute towards a charity against suicide prevention. Why would you be against that? Anyways, guys, sound off in the comments below. What are your opinions on this matter? Do you think Nintendo is right in doing this? I'd be interested to hear in whatever you have to say. Let me know. I have been Martyrs Pie for Switchblade. Over and out. Stay safe.